Welcome to a world where nothing is quite as it seems. Welcome to Fake Britain. It's just an ordinary house. It could be anywhere in the country, but this is a house that's filled with fakes, and you may not know it, but your home could be full of them too. During the series, we'll be investigating the criminals trying to get their hands on your cash by using forgeries, frauds and fakery. And I'll be showing you how you can avoid being taken for a ride. On today's show, the fake car airbags that could kill.
I think it's very, very shocking the level of injury that might result from these fake airbags.
The fake number plates that could get you arrested. And the dangerous fake products coming into the UK through the mail.
People should be aware if they are offered this type of thing to buy, that they could be harming their health.
Every year in the UK, 200,000 of us are injured in some kind of road accident. And of that number, 1%, 1 in 100, is fatal. Now, the seatbelt has gone a long way to reduce those numbers. And what's under here, the airbag has gone even further. We've already seen on Fake Britain how car parts that have been counterfeited are a real safety problem. But when they're parts that are critical for your safety, like the airbag, then it becomes a matter of life and death. In America, it was a national scandal.
Organized criminals are counterfeiting airbags.
Thousands of people likely have counterfeit airbags.
Could be counterfeit and dangerous.
Fake airbags look almost identical to factory equipment.
Could fail to save your life.
News that thousands of American motorists might be driving cars fitted with fake and potentially lethal airbags shocked viewers worldwide.
Where do these fake airbags come from?
Well, I'll tell you, they come from China, and they're not just putting the lives of American drivers at risk. Dave Hodgetts is the managing director of Honda UK, and he thinks fake airbags could already have found their way into British cars.
We're seeing lots of evidence of fake parts being imported into Britain. They range from things, quite simple items like oil filters, brake pads, to much more expensive items like alloy wheels or indeed airbags.
It's the rise in internet trading that's fueling the problem of car part fakery in this country.
Today on the internet is a huge number of parts that are available for sale. Many of those parts are not genuine parts. We know what is a Honda genuine part, and all our other manufacturer colleagues will as well. And you can see a plethora of parts available on the internet which are not.
Genuine airbags are bristling with technology. They're designed to save the car's occupants in a crash.
This is a genuine Honda airbag, and this is the one that's fitted behind the driver's steering wheel. What should happen is the whole system in the car will sense the deceleration of the accident and basically decide how quickly to inflate the airbag. That will come through this front panel and effectively cushion the blow that you would have had as you go towards the steering wheel. So a very complicated piece of technology.
These are slow-motion videos of how a genuine airbag should inflate in a crash, deploying with such precise timing that it even protects a delicate watermelon when it's dropped from a height. But what might a fake airbag do in a crash? Well, in Honda's melon test, something a bit like this. Fake airbags might not inflate properly, but they might also have the power to cause injury in their own right. In America, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration tested dozens of fake Honda airbags seized from an internet trader thought to be selling the products internationally. Dave talked us through the test results.
The airbag deploys, but basically it just blows apart. So there's a huge amount of fragments being thrown straight into the face of the driver. A lot of explosive material that's been released from inside the bag. The bag basically just blew up.
This is a fake airbag failure that could lead to serious injury.
Some of these items are almost certainly extremely hot, and they almost certainly would cause burns, etc., to the driver and that would have potentially very severely injured the driver and certainly wouldn't have provided any protection from the crash itself. So what's supposed to save you in the event of an accident may have caused more injury. I think it's very, very shocking the level of injury that might result from these fake airbags.
And Dave believes that fake airbags like this have made it across the Atlantic into the UK.
I think there's no doubt that the number of what we believe to be fake airbags that are on the internet, it must mean that many people in the UK are having them fitted to their cars. So I think it's only a matter of time until we see this sort of injury happening and some of these types of potentially fatal accidents.
The problem of fake airbags is not limited to Honda.
Almost all major automotive manufacturers are being affected by this trend, and it's therefore something that's endemic across the industry. With the counterfeit suppliers, we have no idea who they are and what sort of processes they're using.
Dave has some advice on how to avoid falling victim to the fakers.
Go to a manufacturer's main dealer who will always fit genuine parts from that particular manufacturer.
But airbags aren't the only fake car parts affecting motorists. As Hertfordshire Trading Standards and BMW found out during a recent raid, the fakers are also targeting alloy wheels. Nick Jones from BMW deals in real wheels, and he can spot a fake.
Here we have a counterfeit mini alloy wheel. This one is actually very close to a genuine wheel. The stampings on the front. This is another fake wheel we found. Yeah, that's definitely a non-genuine wheel.
Hundreds of these fake alloy wheels were seized during the raid. Now, at first sight, they're pretty convincing.
From the outside of these wheels, from the customer's point of view, it looks very much like a genuine wheel. The finish is of a high enough standard that it would fool most customers.
But the fakers haven't just copied the distinctive BMW wheel design. They've also faked the brand name and logo.
These are counterfeit BMW badges. There's several in this bag here. If the consumer gets the wheel, the labels would probably be applied to it, the tyres be fitted to wheel rims. From their point of view, they're looking as though they bought a genuine wheel.
Had these wheels not been seized, dozens of innocent drivers might have ended up paying good money for fake BMW wheels. And as the BMW lab tests showed, driving around on fake wheels like these might have put those motorists in danger.
We have some tests done by BMW in Germany where they have tested wheels with a load being dropped onto them to simulate an impact on a curb.
This is how real alloy wheels should behave in the event of an accident. A bit of give, but no breakage, is perfectly normal. But put the fake wheels under pressure and it's a totally different story.
It actually fractures the side of the wheel and you get a sudden air loss of pressure in the tyre, which could cause a major accident, could cause loss of control of the vehicle.
There's no easy way of telling what a fake wheel is made of and whether it's fit for purpose.
We don't know what the quality of the alloy material is. Some of these wheels we've lifted up today are very light. In compared to the BMW alloys, the content of the alloy and the material obviously is completely different to what we would use. So the level of what it would sustain in an accident or an impact could be considerably different, and it could deform very easily.
Any of these fake alloy wheels could be dangerous.
I wouldn't like my family to be in that myself. I wouldn't be confident that in any sort of impact would be safe. The repercussions for the customer, is very high. If they're in an accident, this could fail completely for them, which is really a big worry for us.
It's not only fake alloy wheels that we need to watch out for. BMW has also seized fake brake discs. Now, genuine brake discs should withstand the friction of the brake pad gripping them. But there's no telling what fake brake discs are made of. This is what happened when BMW tested the fakes. The fake brake disc shatters completely into two pieces. Imagine this happening to your car at high speed when you need to stop fast. When it comes to fake car parts, it's crunch time for manufacturers everywhere.
Well, I think the problem of counterfeit car parts overall, but particularly in terms of airbags, will get worse over the next few years unless we, as an industry, can take action to tackle it now.
Now, fakery comes in many different forms, but it is at its most shocking, perhaps, when the fakers are duping their own flesh and blood. We've discovered some parents who will go to extreme lengths to avoid their financial responsibilities to their family after a breakup. They'll even fake these wage slips. When Ruth Dray from Ashford in Kent separated from her partner of 23 years, Stephen Banbury, she assumed he'd honour his financial responsibilities towards their teenage son.
Well, naturally you'd expect him to have paid for his son, you know. He'd done nothing wrong.
But when the Child Support Agency, which handles child maintenance payments, contacted Ruth, the numbers weren't adding up.
I received a letter then from the CSA saying that he'd now earned, I think it was £220 a week, when 6 weeks before he'd been in the region of like £650, £700 a week.
Ruth turned to Stuart Richards, legal enforcement manager at the Child Support Agency, who picked up her case.
Mr Banbury has attempted to show a lower level of income, so the calculation of his maintenance, which is done as a percentage of that income, would be lower again.
Now, most people try to earn more money, but not Stephen Banbury. And with a bit of detective work, Stuart's team figured out how he'd done it.
He got hold of an accounting package and he set up his own set of wage slips by putting in a set of fake details into those wage slips, and consequently was able to run off and create his own batch of fake wage slips to show the lower income that he wanted to try and have his maintenance based on.
Ruth was sickened to learn of the lengths that her ex had gone to avoid contributing towards their son's living costs.
He was making sure that he would pay the minimal amount possible, you know, and that's what he thought of his own son. And I think he's disgusting.
Stuart's showing us Stephen Banbury's fakery in black and white.
I've got here the real wage slips that show Mr Banbury's true income, and the fake wage slips that Mr Banbury dummied up.
Banbury should have been paying £80 a week in child maintenance. He used his fake wage slips to slash that payment to just £34.
This is a crime that I think is possibly the most heartless and despicable that you could come across. This is where a person is being asked to do the most basic thing in life, provide support for their child. And what they're attempting to do in this, they attempt to avoid that responsibilities, and they will go to, you know, extreme lengths to do it.
Shockingly, it isn't an isolated case.
This is certainly a crime that we're seeing an increase in the level of. We're detecting at least 2 such cases each month.
Stuart shows us how the fakers can try to shirk their financial duties with just a few clicks of a mouse.
I'm just putting in a simple search under fake wage slips. Already I'm offered 20 sites just on the first page in front of me, and it runs to more than 10 pages. These firms are offering services such as replacement wage slips, replacement P60 documentation. It causes me genuine alarm to think how people might use these sites to show that your income was either considerably lower or considerably higher than it really was.
Banbury had in fact paid Ruth and their son Brad nothing at all for 3 years, saving himself around £12,000. But his financial gain was their devastating loss.
I'm now actually in debt for about £25,000, and the only person who's going to suffer from that at the moment is his own son, because what I haven't got, he doesn't get. The clothes, money going out with friends, even down to taking his driving lessons. I can't afford that for him.
Ruth even lost the family home where she'd lived for 18 years.
That was probably the worst part of it, losing the house. And I think that was one of the worst things for my son, you know. He didn't want to leave there.
Finally, though, Ruth fought back. Together with Stuart and his team at the Child Support Agency, a case was built against Stephen Banbury. And finally, Judgment Day arrived for the wage slip faker. Banbury faced 2 charges. The first was under the Fraud Act for false representation on a child maintenance form. The second was under the Forgery and Counterfeiting Act for forging 5 wage slips. After a long wait, the verdict was in.
Stephen Banbury was here today accused of faking wage slips. He's pled guilty to that, and as a consequence, he now has a criminal record against him.
Banbury was sentenced to 120 days in prison for each offence, suspended for 12 months. He also received 120 hours of community service and was ordered to pay £200 in court costs.
If he had got away with this fraud, he would have deprived his own child of thousands of pounds worth of maintenance. Mr. Banbury is now going to have to pay all that maintenance, and we will pursue him vigorously.
We tried to speak to Mr. Banbury after he was found guilty. He seemed to think there'd been some kind of mistake.
I'd never done it in the first place.
But he did do it. And the guilty verdicts against him are a life-changing outcome for Ruth.
I can move on now. I know that he's not got away with it. And hopefully he'll be made to pay now and Bud can have the things that he's missed out on.
In the past on Fake Britain, we've investigated the fake number plates that are being sold by some unscrupulous companies. Now, if a criminal gets hold of a number plate that's the same as yours, they can put it on another vehicle and then use that vehicle to commit crimes for which, in the end, you could be blamed. The fakers are out there. Trading standards say they've got your number. Previously on Fake Britain, we've been out with Trading Standards and the police when they raided a company making and selling fake number plates.
Listen, you stood there with an attitude of me the whole time.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have. Let me speak.
Are you under arrest? You're not moving your car, okay?
Don't push me. Don't
Listen, do you want to
touch
touch
me.
But despite the crackdown, other number plate fakers might still be at it. Deborah Charles from Milton Keynes Trading Standards is heading up a unit following up the intelligence that a company could be selling fake number plates over the internet. When the officers arrive at the scene, they run straight into one of the company directors.
Deborah Charles, Milton Keynes Trading Standards. We're here because I believe that you're producing number plates which have got trademarks applied to them without the authorisation of the trademark holder.
But fake trademarks aren't the only problem with the number plates thought to be sold by this company.
You're not registered with the Vehicle Driving Licence Agency to produce number plates.
Any company selling number plates for use on the road must be registered with the DVLA and must check that the customers have the right documentation. Otherwise, criminals could order a fake number plate that already belongs to an innocent driver and then use that vehicle to commit crimes.
My colleagues here at the police are going to arrest.
The man is immediately arrested. He's taken off to a police van and then to the local police station. Back in the office, it's time to have a good look around.
These are blank number plates. To the left, there are the laminators.
It's starting to look like a fake number plate factory.
We've got the acetates that go onto these blank plates here. Down here we've got some parcels that are obviously ready for posting. These are the printing equipment, and this is the computer where the majority of the information is going to be on.
The company is thought to be selling fake number plates that carry fake car manufacturer trademarks on them.
It's got the BMW logo applied to it, and I'm almost certain that BMW won't have given permission for that trademark to be used.
And if this company isn't registered to sell number plates, the registration number they're printing and selling could already be owned by an innocent motorist.
There is the possibility that criminals could use companies such as this to produce number plates which are later used in crime. They could find a vehicle, something in a car park, get a similar number plate for the same type of car, and then go and commit an armed robbery in that vehicle. If that number plate is noticed by witnesses, of course, the innocent person is then going to be contacted by the police, and it's going to be very inconvenient for them.
Business is clearly booming.
An average order is going to be about £25 for a pair of plates. Information that we've already seen, that we've already seized, said that they had, say, 175 orders to produce in just one day.
So this company could be raking in over £2,000 a day. But something's not quite adding up. If they're turning over that sort of huge volume, where are all the blank plates ready to be printed on?
They have definitely got a storage somewhere else then of the blank plates, because that's not all the blank plates.
With a bit of digging, it's not long before Officer Nat Keane has a breakthrough.
Excellent detective work now.
Good. So we've just found an address there, so it appears that all the blank number plates get delivered there. It's good. It's good news because there's lots down here, so it's a massive operation.
The officers swiftly bag and tag all the number plates, printers and computer equipment that they've seized. And with no time to lose, it's on to the next location to see if they can track down the blank number plates that will prove the sheer scale of this operation.
There weren't sufficient number plates on the premises to keep them going for very long, so I do suspect that they have got a lock-up somewhere where they keep these blank plates, so that's where we're heading now.
But when they arrive, they're unable to get in. Luckily, the neighbours round here are pretty helpful.
I've got a mobile phone in from you, open.
Yeah, if you don't mind giving me that.
Deborah can now get one of the number plate company employees on the phone, and it's not long before he turns up.
Hi, I'm Deborah Charles from Milton Keynes Trading Standards.
Hiya. At first, he seems pretty helpful and lets them straight in.
There are invoices that show that number plates and blank number plates are sent here.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. Are there some here to make things more speedy?
No.
So the man says there are no number plates here. But the officers want to see for themselves, and it's not long before they find what they're looking for.
Here's a Volkswagen logo.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, there's a Citroen trademark I played there and the Volkswagen on that one.
Now Deborah's about to find out what they were looking for all along.
There could be between 400 and 500 plates here, blank plates. This is probably about a week's worth of blank number plates.
The interception of this weekly delivery confirms that the company could be producing hundreds of fake number plates a day and making tens of thousands of pounds a week. They believe there's more than enough evidence to arrest the second man.
I believe that you failed to register on the DVLA database as a supplier of vehicle number plates.
For Deborah, it's a great result. Today's seizures could prevent innocent motorists from being blamed for crimes committed by people who use a fake version of their number plate. Here on Fake Britain, we've seen the extraordinary lengths that some counterfeiters will go to get their dodgy and sometimes dangerous goods into the country. They smuggle them in through our ports and airports, concealed in containers or secreted in suitcases. There are times, of course, when they don't bother and they just send them through the post. We've been with the UK's border agency to see what they discover in just a few hours at one of the UK's largest postal hubs. Each year, millions of parcels coming into the UK are sorted here at Coventry International Postal Hub. Many of those parcels contain counterfeit goods, but unluckily for the fakers, hawk-eyed Border Force officers Haskins and Singh are on the case.
And we've had a variety of different types of goods that are suspected to be counterfeit. We will put them through the X-ray, which should show in most cases what the actual type of goods are.
The fakers are trying to dupe unsuspecting shoppers like you or me with high-end fake goods that increasingly look genuine. But for Officer Haskins, it's about more than stopping shoppers from getting ripped off. It's about saving their lives.
There can be flammability problems, toxic substances used to make them, so there is a big health and safety risk. People might think that they're getting a good bargain, but if it catches fire or electrocutes them, then it's not so good.
Today, the officers have identified some packages suspected of containing counterfeit items. Immediately, they take them out of circulation. It's time to see what's inside this package, which the sender reckons is only worth $20. It's a load of DVDs with a fake valuation.
Got the Little Mermaid there, and as you could see, there was a lot more DVDs that would warrant a $20 value.
And these fake DVDs are in a different league to the ones you might find down your local market.
It has a hologram, it's properly wrapped, and I don't think that someone would be able to tell that that was counterfeit if they were to pick that up off a shop shelf.
With the fakers producing DVDs of such high quality, the rewards could have been huge if they'd smuggled this batch past Border Force.
There's about 100 DVDs in there. If they're selling those as the real McCoy in the shops, very big profit margins for them. You see here we've got Australia. And we've even got authenticity cards. Even again, on the plastic packaging, to throw the customer, they'll think, well, that's got to be real because it's not just coming in a plain plastic bag, it's got a real box. As a layman, looking at that, without the other clues that are on the packaging and that sort of thing, you probably would not ever tell that that was fake.
And as with the DVDs, they've gone to great trouble to fake individual technical details, which would fool most people.
They've actually faked the hologram that would be on the genuine product. The customer would see that and think, that's got to be real, it's got the hologram on. All these little bits of information that the counterfeiters do are to throw the customer.
But the fakers aren't just into fashion, they're into sport as well, as Officer Haskins is about to find out with this next package.
So we have a fake Ping golf club here. I have been told that by people that play golf that they are a very good quality fake. It does feel like a lightweight, a professional piece of kit, really.
Nothing is safe from the fakers, not even electronic gadgets.
We got these Nintendo DS games consoles here. Quite well packed. All 3 different colours. It's got an instruction manual here, instruction booklet. It's quite impressive, the quality of them. It's very hard to tell. I mean, if I didn't work here, I probably wouldn't know what I'm buying on High Street.
From a health and safety perspective, fake goods are perhaps at their most shocking when they come in the form of medicines. We've seen fake Viagra on Fake Britain before, and it looks as though Officer Haskins is about to stop another load of it from entering the country.
These would probably just be sold on the street to people in pubs and things like that. The organised gangs are up in their game just to make this as marketable as possible to the general public. It's actually embossed with the Viagra logo as well in the actual tablet.
But these fake tablets wouldn't just spoil your evening, they could ruin your health.
There's no way of knowing the conditions under which this fake Viagra has been manufactured. It could contain fillers that are toxic as well as the active ingredient. People should beware if they are offered this type of thing to buy, that they could be harming their health.
In this one package alone, there are enough fake Viagra tablets to make the fakers a massive profit.
Probably, 4,000 or 5,000 individual tablets in there, I would say. They might get sold on the street for £1 or 2 each, something like that. So you can see that it can be quite lucrative for someone who's willing to take the risk of importing these.
It's a great day's work for the officers so far, but it isn't over yet, as Officer Singh's got his eye on something really worrying.
These are fake. It's basically like human growth hormone people use, such as bodybuilders.
This is potentially a very dangerous cargo.
And you're meant to store it at a certain temperature, and obviously being in a parcel, it's nowhere near that temperature. However you got it, maybe in freight.
From high-end fake fashion to convincing fake medicines, today's haul is a sign that the fakers are becoming increasingly sophisticated. But the confiscated packages also represent another good day's work for the Border Force officers at Coventry International Postal Hub. That's all from Fake Britain. Bye-bye.
As part of the cost of living season, meet the wheelers, dealers and Del Boys hoping to make a mint. Wednesday night at 10:35 on BBC One. Over on BBC Two tonight at 11:20, fasten your seatbelts for a behind-the-scenes look at the flights and fights inside the low-cost airlines.